by the name of Michaela Montgomery is in the headlines after making an appearance at a Donald Trump rally in Atlanta. Montgomery had previously met Trump earlier this year at a Chick-fil-A, and in her speech, she would endorse the former president and criticize Kamala Harris for not doing enough for black people, harming black communities, and only using her blackness to bring in votes. Now, comedian Godfrey would take to Instagram and post a video, even comparing her to Diamond and Silk, who are two black women who would endorse Trump during his previous elections. Godfrey wouldn't stop there, but also compared Montgomery to figures like Stephen Fetchit and labeled her a coonette. What's even more interesting is in the comments under Godfrey's post was showing an overwhelming amount of support for Trump, many of them criticizing Godfrey. Now, Montgomery would take to her own Instagram to respond to those who criticized her. The post on her story read, "Me crying in the room after a bunch of nobodies called me ugly and a coon." Today we'll have our comedy hype analysts Marvin Hunter and Steve Brown on the show to talk all about it. But first, let's take a look at these clips.
This one is so smart, so sharp.
My name is Michaela Montgomery. A lot of you guys know me as the girl from Chick-fil-A, but I am so much more than that. Not only do I serve as the CEO of Conserve the Culture, I am also the state director for Blexit down here in Georgia. I'm a Fulton County coordinator for America First Works, and I'm also launching a podcast on the Patriots Prayer Network, so put some respect on my name. See, as a young single mother, I can tell y'all that rent is too damn high. I can tell you that as a young black voter, groceries are too damn high. And as an American citizen, period, seniors like my parents should never have to choose between medicine or food. It should never be the quality of life versus the quantity of life.
Facts. Now, they didn't call her a coon, sellout, ugly, and a few other names I don't appreciate. I feel like they tacked that ugly word on her because she's dark-skinned. I do not like that. Don't tell me support black women and you put Whitley Gilbert up here and then you gonna talk bad about Kim Reese that been here. I don't play them games. I don't play them games at all. And quite frankly, Godfrey is not a nigga. He's not black. He's fucking Nigerian. He don't count as one of us. His people sold our people. His people bitched out and didn't do, you understand? His people sold our people. That's where he comes from. And then after we maintained, after we got free, after we built ourselves up, then his manipulating, using ass people then came over here to ride our coattails. Do I like Godfrey as a comedian? Mediocrely. I do like his podcast. I do think he's a great imitator. All this other stuff, I don't really fly with. And then I'm really offended because I know Godfrey is an intellectual. But I'm offended with this blind support of somebody who we know is not black. To be black, both your grandparents had to have been born here. Both your great-grandparents had to have been born, and they had to be black. As a black man, I tried to identify with Africans. I tried to identify with Haitians. I've tried to identify with Jamaicans and every other melanated group of people I ever met. They all shunned me. They all shunned every other black person I know. This is Detroit. This is the Black Mecca. They've been treating us shitty when we go to the Africans to get our girls' hair braided. They've been treating us shitty when we deal with carting, transporting, or trucking. They've treated us shitty in every manner of which they could, just wanted our money. The Africans, well, not the Africans, because it's very improper to refer to someone as an African because Africa is a continent. So we're just going to say the people from the motherland, the Jamaicans have been lying to us, black Americans, about how beautiful and how good, not that it's not beautiful and not that it's not good, but the Jamaicans make it seem like that's the best place in the world. Don't nothing bad happen. There's no crime. And you get over there and leave the resort and you find out they fucking lied to your ass. The houses is affordable like they told you, but you might die trying to buy. They ain't tell you that shit. And they make sure that they let us know that they ethnicity is different from ours. And they are correct. Same thing with the Haitians. So why, when somebody needs something, can we not hold strong on who we are? Why do we have to accept them as us when they would never accept us as one of them? And rightfully so, I respect it. Why do I have to do it? I know people from India, have friends. We're tight. We've talked about being melanated. They've explained to me it's people that look like me that's one of them. You heard? People that look like me, but they're one of them. So I understand the difference, and let's not try to mince words now that it count. Let's not do that.
And I don't want to hear, oh, but we capped the price of insulin and lowered the price of all these medicines. Yeah, but you raised the price of everything else, so it's about time to start telling the truth to Americans and let them know exactly what they're signing up for if they want to vote for Kamala Harris. We need to vote based on facts and not feelings. See, under Harris and Biden...
And that's a big fact. But before I let her continue on, I just want to point one thing out to you. Why does everybody have diabetes in the first place? Why is lowering the cost of the medicine of diabetes going to help us? You get where I'm going with this? So you done already set us up for the disease and you selling us all this other shit that costs an arm and a leg, but you want to advertise lowering the price of diabetes medicine, which is really bullshit, because if you got state insurance, they going to cover that. And if you got real insurance, they going to cover that. Lower the prices of some of this other stuff. Or how about this? How about this? Change the fucking regulations on which you allow these companies to and not to put in our food, and that'll stop diabetes. But you ain't gonna do that.
The average Georgia household is losing $1,060 per month, and inflation is at 21.4%. And due to the war on energy, average gas prices have reached record highs for the state. We also did a poll, and 80% of us Black Americans are not happy with the current state of the economy, so I'm going to need 80% of y'all to vote accordingly in November. The left wants you to get in your feelings about things that have been said, but I want you guys to pay attention to what has been done. They don't want to talk policy. They just want to use propaganda to steal your vote. The left is trying to tout this woman as a savior for the Black community, but all she's done is hurt the Black community since she came into the game. See, the first step in destroying the Black community is to dismantle the Black family. So aside from her record as a prosecutor, why don't we ask Mrs. Willie Brown if Kamala Harris cares about Black families?
Which is the dude she is cheating with, who got her, she was sugar babying with, put her on, took her from what she used to do in the politics.
I wonder if Mrs. Willie Brown, a Black woman, is also with her. A few days ago, President Trump said he didn't know Vice President Harris was a Black woman. I'm trying to figure out what all the outrage is about, because she's only Black when it's time to get elected. Did I lie? The same Black people who are mad at Trump for being confused about her race, ethnicity, nationality, whatever, are seemingly forgetting that while you're touting her as a savior for Black people, she identifies as an Asian woman. She chose her side and it wasn't ours. When asked if she would ever do anything specifically for Black people, she said no. Whereas Trump gave us the Platinum Plan, which specifically uplifted the Black community by increasing capital by almost $500 billion, creating...
What you got from Ice Cube and Dr. Claude Anderson? Can't hate Trump. And Biden and Harris can't do nothing for Black people, but they did a lot for gays. They did a lot for Asians. Shit, they did a lot for Ukraine, Israelis. it's a whole lot of Venezuelans that came in with this migrant crisis. They did everything but for them Haitians. They ain't do shit for them Haitians that's having a civil war though. So you want to talk about racism? Tell me how they took people from every country that we beefing with, but wouldn't allow them Haitians in the middle of a civil war in here. And it's in our books that we supposed to help them. It's on this law. We supposed to help refugees. Never mind. I'm out of here. My bad. I gotta let McKay.
500,000 new black businesses and would give black churches the ability to fight for federal resources for their communities.
Now that was very important. You notice he didn't offer jobs like the Democrats. Trump took what Ice Cube put together, and Ice Cube joked on him a little bit, but he pretty much took Ice Cube's whole plan and just tweaked it a little bit because he knows business. Trump just straight up was going to give us the funding to do what we do and let the churches dictate. Because right now, all the funding go to churches, but it's not all the funding that should be there for the city. And then the church don't have no say-so over who gets this and that business next door. So what ends up happening is who knows about it being available or for sale, or who has the money, or who's connected. So I really understand where Trump was coming. I really understand where Ice Cube and Dr. Claude Anderson was coming from, because it was their plan. But I get why Trump tweaked certain things so it would be a natural, organic progression. I respect that.
And why are we acting like strong borders aren't a thing literally everywhere else in the world? Since when has being patriotic been a crime? See, a few weeks ago at the debate, Trump mentioned black jobs, and a lot of people got in an uproar as if they didn't know what he meant. Well, we go to the polls and cast our black vote. We go to the stores and spend our black dollar. We live in our black community, but for whatever reason, we draw the line at a black job. Oh, but wait, because if you're wondering what a black job is, please, I encourage you all to drive through Atlanta at all these beautiful black-owned businesses and check and see who works there. Probably a black person working for a black entrepreneur, recycling the black dollar, creating black generational wealth.
Now I gotta hit her right there, because my mother was sold that dream about moving to Atlanta and everything gonna be good. They sold it to my mama in about 92. Shit ain't work out like that. And Atlanta is doing great in strides, but it's a real tricky place. They got all the black people in the middle where you could pass through and pass out, paying top dollar for no land, mind you. But outside of Atlanta, it's fucking Georgia. It's fucking Georgia. It ain't no joke. Ain't no joke. And that's why I say Trump was offering funding versus other things. But I just had to throw that in there for the black people. Everybody's selling you that Atlanta dream and shit. And then you see kidnappings and diseases and things like that going there. They know it's a high concentration of us there and passing through there. So they're going to always keep some bullshit floating around Atlanta, because it can spread to us everywhere from there. So we got to watch that.
If they come here illegally and they're taking your jobs and your resources, then please believe my cousins in the Appalachians, they coming for you too. And y'all know Kamala Harris has yet to say Laken Riley's name. As borders are, she opened the border to millions of illegal immigrants that have flooded American streets with deadly drugs and gangs that have spiked overdoses by over 124% and brought more crime into minority communities. So how's that for black folks? But let's take race out of it. Just as a woman, period. How can you be a champion for women's rights when you're taking away opportunities from biological women and giving them to transgendered ones? I'll wait, y'all, because I wasn't done. See, how can you promote equity for women And you're allowing men to play in women's sports. And what kind of feminist would still allow men to enter their sacred spaces, i.e. our bathrooms and school locker rooms? Do I even need to mention the opening ceremony at the Olympics? Or the fact that Angela Carini was forced to fight a man and told us that she's never been punched so hard in her life. We cannot allow dangerous liberals who think things like this are okay into the White House, because my daughter will not be fighting a man at her wrestling match. And what I think both men and women can agree on is that national security is important. So who would y'all rather see lead us into war if it were so to happen? My silk-pressed sister Kamala or the big dog Donald Trump?
Now, I'm glad she pointed that out, but this is one thing that bothered me. Everybody I see fighting for Kamala Harris and shit like that, they already got the notion that we're just going to go to war anyway. War never has to happen. It doesn't. And that kind of bothers me that most of the people that support her don't have kids of their own. Of course you ain't got to care about war. Most of the people that support her already gay. Of course you don't have to worry about your kids being told they could be something they shouldn't, or they don't know the parameters or wins and losses of. Of course you don't care about all the kids being forced into selective services no matter what their issue is now. Of course I care. You don't have to. Of course you don't care about migrants coming over here and raising the price of daycare or raising the price of food or making it impossible for you to get a blue-collar job ever again in life. Of course you don't care. But watch that shit starting to affect you.
When they bring up abortion and they talk about protecting your medical freedoms, don't be afraid to mention COVID. The Biden-Harris administration forced Americans to take an experimental vaccine and took away their jobs, their livelihoods, and their freedoms if they refuse.
And let me keep it a bean pal with you. I never forget when this happened. When they was making the vaccine, Trump said everybody's gonna have a choice, right? My job never shut down. We were delivering shit the whole time. Never shut down. They put us on we had a different type of mandate, which is if you ain't showing up at gang meetings, we gonna kill you. That was pretty much, I mean, they didn't say that, but they did kind of say some shit like that. But it's the gang. I'm in the union. I had to be there. What Tupac said, at least I'm in the union, nigga. It was one of them type of situations. But it came down to a day once Biden took office, right? Before they said anything about a vaccine on the news, we in our morning gathering of the brown motherfuckers. And they say, yo, we think they're coming out with a vaccine or a cure. How many of y'all would be willing to take it? Because we need a certain percentage of y'all to take it. I think they said 30%. It was about 70 guys out there. It looked like 20 of them stepped up to say they would. But that wasn't exactly enough. They would have needed, what, 32 guys? Yeah, for it to be like 30%, they needed like 31 guys. And in every facility in Michigan, it was about the same amount of numbers. I was in a group of niggas that was willing to lose their job. Well, I was one of the few niggas in that group. Them was mostly white motherfuckers. I agree. So when you be calling people racist and shit like that, what you don't see is from their side of the fence and from my side of the fence, we both want the same shit. But When the company saw it wasn't enough people willing to just take that, they changed their rules. On the flip side of that, I have a son's. I got a daughter mother who was a nurse. My other daughter mother, she was a store manager of a store in the mall. My other child's mother, she was like a home wife at the time. We ran a business, but mainly it ran itself. And she was one of them moms. And she didn't want to do that no more. And so she found a job that she liked, she wanted. My mother too. Everybody took that shot. I ain't want them to take that shot. And most of them have been affected since they took that shot in ways and having problems that they didn't have before. Very, very traumatizing. That fucking shot I believe, affected my auntie Lisa in a different type of way. Up here. And they made them take it or lose your job. So when you tell me Trump's a dictator or could become a dictator, but I've watched you be a dictator to my detriment, I have an issue there. I feel like my chain is being pulled. No saliva. And I'm not with that. You're going to pull my chain, you got to spit on this mug. You know what? Let's finish.
Trump gave us a choice and Biden gave us a mandate. So the next time the left wants to tell you that, hey, abortion is a right and you need to protect your medical freedoms, remember that they took those freedoms away from men and women the second they got in office, and there's nothing stopping them from doing it again.
Hey, Michaela, I know you spoke. Just come up for a second. Come on. This young woman, I walked into, I don't know what the hell restaurant it was, but I walked into this restaurant, and we do it very quietly. We don't announce it. That's for, security reasons, everything. I walked in. She's behind the counter, and she didn't know I was coming. And she goes, "It's President Trump." She looks at me, "It's President Trump. You saved my college." And I said, "How the hell do you know that?" She said, this one is so smart, so sharp. She grabbed me. She gave me a kiss. I said, "I think I'm never going back home to the First Lady."
You were supposed to keep that quiet.
See, now, for the average politician, that's death. For me, I don't care. I just want to tell you, you are an unbelievable person with a great personality. You lit up the whole room. You lit up the whole room. I said, weeks later, I'd go, who is that person that was so incredible? She knew everything about me. She had no idea I was coming. She knew everything about me. And the historically black colleges and universities, I gave millions and millions, billions of dollars to. They kept coming back, and I said, "What?"
While you talking about looking out for black people, Donald Trump gave more money to the HBCUs than any other president in the history of the world, including the homogenized black one that we had before. You know what I'm saying? Which is kind of crazy. You notice how all of these black people or people they say is black that they put in front of us as politics. You ever notice how the father that they try to claim as being black has run off? Wasn't there. They was raised by the other side. And then I'll tell you what's really fake. You motherfuckers been hating on Drake. Everybody joined in on Drake, right? His daddy's a real nigga. He spent summers in Memphis. These motherfuckers, Kamala, her dad wasn't around. He ain't even dark skinned. Talking about he's Jamaican. Matter of fact, allegedly the history on him is his family owned Jamaican slaves. Just because you say you Jamaican don't mean you black. The white man from Jamaica is just Jamaican too. Side note, then he claimed Scottish Irish, by the way.
Are you doing this? We gave them long-term funding, and she knew that because she said her college, she loved her college. She said it was so great, right? You loved it.
The illustrious CAU.
Yeah, that's right. She loved her college, and she said, "You saved my college." What was your college? Tell them.
The illustrious Clark Atlanta University.
And it was so impressive, and I felt so good because she really did. She really said, I said, "Did you like the college?" She said, "No, I loved that school. I loved that college, and that's what it's all about. But you are an incredible person. I think you have a tremendous future. I really do. And I'll do whatever I can to help you, okay?" Thank you, Dan.
Michaela Montgomery, I hope I got her name right. Michaela Montgomery is the lady that hugged Donald Trump in Chick-fil-A. Remember when Donald Trump set up that meeting at Chick-fil-A and he's talking to all those African-American workers and complimenting them, working hard, the whole nine. And Michaela kissed him on the cheek, took a picture with him. So happy. I think he found his new coonette.
Fuck you, Godfrey. You're not even black. You're Nigerian. And you found your place in here with us. And you dyeing your hair, shaving your mustache, trying to act like you're not over 50 years old. You need to stop it. And for you, a man, to sit here and call a for real melanated sister a coon because you being paid to support some shit that does not support us is crazy. I'm more offended by you doing this than D.L. Hughley because we all know you're an intellectual. There is no way, shape, form, or fashion you about to call her a coon or compare her to them other bitches. Baby girl was a regular girl. And if you watch that meeting where Trump was at, she was not one of the people that was intended to do anything. They already had other people picked out in position. And she just took her opportunity to say what she was feeling or to thank the man for her specific school. And if you saw how Trump's reaction was at that time, that wasn't who he was expecting or what he was expecting or none of that. And then did you just see her on stage? Didn't nobody write that speech for her. That's all her. Let me. And while you calling her a coon, you was the least funniest motherfucker on Tiffany Haddish shit. Least.
Yeah. Remember the other coonettes he was with? Remember, was it Diamond and Silk? Diamond and Silk. Remember those two ladies? You'd be like,
now they wasn't coons, but they was ignorant as hell. And they was opportunists. To be a coon, when they use that in turn with us, it means to be contemptuous. So when we get to hating on each other, that's being a coon. It's very possible to disagree with a black person without disrespecting them. And that's what we need to start doing. That's what he's not doing. He's name calling. How about you tell us how, because she spoke about Kamala's policies and the policies of the administration she represented. How about you defend them on the policies instead of attacking baby girl? I don't like that shit. And I feel like you niggas doing it because she dark skinned. And Godfrey, we already know you got a preference out here. And sisters that look like her, with or without the weave, ain't a part of it. But I feel you. You fake ass nigga. I don't call you a fake ass nigga because you ain't real. I call you a fake ass nigga because you ain't a nigga. You're not even black. You're melanated. And you used to live in a house with a gay man. 5150, bitch.
Lord have mercy. Donald Trump gonna win. Lord have mercy. He sure is. Remember that? Step and fetch it. Remember those? So he brought her on. You know,
and Step and Fetcher deserved his respect. He was the person he had to be when there was nobody else before him. Everything we do, we get, we have to take in increments. But you may not know nothing about that because your people sold us in here. Now, what this young lady did, and she's one of the first to be able to do it as a black person, to step outside of her position, speak directly to power, and not lose her job. On top of them bringing her back around. It's crazy, but you wouldn't know that because you're not black, so this not a part of your history. You a melanated nigga, not a black nigga. And I don't appreciate your mark ass speaking on my sisters because I don't say shit about them scamming ass, long titty having, crusty toe having ass, Nigerian scamming ass bitches in these braiding shops doing a shitty ass job. I don't say shit about them. Nothing. Matter of fact, I even pay them. I don't say shit about them scamming ass, Nigerian ass truck dispatchers. You need to fuck on. Man. You homosexual haircut wearing ass.
The big rally to talk and laugh. Lord, you boy, I'm so happy to be here. And it's so funny how something about his affinity to ratchet black people. He loves ratchet black people, doesn't he? He's fascinated with the ghetto. I love ghetto people because ghetto black people, they're very humble, very humble.
Well, Godfrey, what kind of black people do you love? Because you a 50-some-odd-year-old man, supposedly successful. You don't have kids or a wife. What does that say about you and your love for black people?
Don't try to challenge you. They don't really read a lot. They love me and I love them, especially at Chick-fil-A. But he dogs Kamala Harris all day, who is, by the way, Jamaican and Indian. Whether you like it or not, she looks like a light-skinned black girl, so I don't care what you say. Phenotype. And he dogs her. She
overly offended. I'm overly offended. She does not.
Stupid. She's dumb. She's the worst vice president. Really?
And looking like a light-skinned black woman is not good enough for me as a black man to allow you to disrespect an actual black woman. You soft-ass fake hair color, and he got the gay face. When a man get to shaving his mustache, man, that's bogus. That's bogus. That's bogus, man. I thought Godfrey was cool. I can't believe he doing this. And this is my problem right here. Charlemagne, all of these other companies that say they repping the culture. How you repping the culture when all of us black people, men and women, that's in everyday life in the streets is telling you, yo, this bitch ain't right. Yo, they policies is affecting us. Yo, and you motherfuckers is trying to push some shit on us that don't work for us. How you repping the culture? How you give a fuck about us? You the fucking coon.
First, as I mentioned, a lot of people are in Godfrey's comments and actually going against Godfrey. So I want to read some of those and then come back and get you all's thoughts. So one user said, Big Bro, please understand that me stating these facts about VP Harris is not me siding with the former administration. VP Harris' use of Megan Thee Stallion for her campaign was ridiculous. She's not forthcoming with her policies. She has a deliberate history of wrongful convictions of black men in addition to malicious prosecution of black men. Other people were saying Trump 2024, stay out of politics. Someone else, you're wrong again, sir. Someone else again, bro, you need to wake up. Lastly, acting like Dems, meaning Democratics, don't do this. I'm going to come to you first, Marvin. I seen you getting antsy as we were like watching those videos. What's your reaction? What are your thoughts?
First, I'm with Godfrey, 110%.
Yeah.
You know, it's Megan Thee Stallion.
Man, you gonna be with whoever get to keep you on this show. And why him and the other nigga got on matching shirts? Why?
Twerking, her tap dancing. Same. I would like to know.
No, they not the same. They're not the same at all. That woman stood there in a respectable, I could have did without the weave. But she stood there in a respectable way, in a respectable outfit, and she spoke about real issues that we all having, black or white, man or woman. We all having these issues versus a woman who can barely formulate a sentence coming out there shaking her ass, singing a debaucherous song that represents black women as whores and heathens at a presidential election. They not the fucking same. If you just like this bitch, say you like this bitch, but all this other shit is bullshit. They not the same. This woman stood upright, head held high, with a room full of white people hanging on her every word. This other bitch had to put a face full of makeup on, turn around and still shake her ass because the face full of makeup wasn't good enough. Them two totally different separate things. And then, how can you say Kamala represents black women and she couldn't put out of all the AKAs, all the Divine Nine, all the people, you telling me she couldn't find one respectable sister to put up there, bitch, please?
When are we as black people going to emotionally sever the ties with these type of coons? Really, because we've been dealing with it for 16 years. As soon as Barack got in office, they reared their head. You know, and there's nothing wrong being critical of our community and policing our community when you do it within the community. But when you step across the street with other people who mean us no good, and then you turn around and start wagging your finger at the community, you lost me.
Yeah.
It's always the same type of Negro. It's always the same type of Negro. We have them in our family. We have them on our jobs. We have them. You know, they villainized Barack. They uplifted Trump. They're the same Negroes that push the conspiracy theories, same ones that are demonizing Kamala right now. And they 0 for 3.
Yeah.
Because they told us Barack was the Antichrist, we elected him again. They told us Trump was a savior, we didn't elect him. And a lot of the conspiracy theories always get debunked. It's the same type of Negro. When are we going to just completely sever ourselves emotionally from these clowns? Because all they do is get our blood pressure up.
Yeah.
They mean the community no good.
That's that pork
and
sandwich
look, it's cool. You can feel however you want to feel. But, you know, you ran your bath for it over there. You made your bed over there. Take a bath and go lay your ass down.
Steve, let me get your thoughts. What's your reaction to it after seeing those clips?
Sad. It's crazy, man. I'm 110% with Godfrey. I'm in full agreement, and it, to me, it's embarrassing. Giving off self-hate to me, self-hate, and it's just.
And by the name of Michaela
What they giving off is self-hate. We don't have to agree with each other for us to find the best ways and modes and means to accomplish a goal. We don't have to disrespect each other because we disagree with each other. Someone having a different, and this is what bothers me. None of them had nothing to say about a policy, the job she did, nothing. They had nothing fulfilling to say. They were all speaking from feelings and emotions, but nothing fulfilling. And we got to stop that. To me, y'all the worst kind of niggas. Whether you agree with the sister or not, you ain't have to sit there and do what you doing, but you doing that for a check. She hugged that nigga like that out the kindness of her heart. And you can see she one of them sisters where she can't hide it with her face. That shit was genuine. And then I really fuck with Trump. Because he let her speak her way. You could tell ain't nobody write that speech for her. And it wasn't exactly a speech. It was how to, you understand? It was just a pure, unadulterated truth. And we do need to do better. Starting with hoe ass niggas like y'all. We out. And if you tell me to support a black woman, know I'm a support a black woman. And that is a black woman. I don't know what this other bitch is who married to a white dude and don't even reproduce kids. I don't know what she is. That's real self-hate, you ask me. When you live around people that don't look like you, you mate with people that don't look like you, and then you refuse to produce any carbon copies of yourself. I don't think self-hate get no deeper than that. But you pussies will call somebody wanting what's better or not wanting to go to war self-hate. I call what Kamala doing self-hate. And now she self-hating on her Indian side and her Jamaican side. Because y'all keep telling me she black. But why she don't come out in her Hinduism? Why she don't come out in her Jamaica or Rastafari? She should be genuine to who she is. And y'all niggas need to really start asking the question, why none of these black people they ever put up to represent us is ever 100% black. We out.